Welcome everyone. I am Rishit Reddy and I am going to present on the topic DMA controller. So, as you can see here, these are the contents of my talk: direct memory access, overview of architecture of 8257, its working, advantages and disadvantages. As all of you are familiar with microprocessor and its operation, for a microprocessor to transfer data, first of all it needs to fetch the instruction, then decode it, and then execute the instruction. So it means the microprocessor needs some amount of time. So here we have direct memory access, which we use for the transfer of data by bypassing the CPU or the microprocessor. So as I have said, the direct memory access is the fastest means of data transfer, and how we achieve it by transferring the data from the memory without to the device without any interference from the CPU. And to explain that, I'm going to take an example of Intel's 8257 4-channel DMA controller, which we can integrate with our 8085 microprocessor. So in direct memory access, the peripheral device can access directly the memory bus of the microprocessor. And how it's done? DMA controller or direct macro access controller acts as a via medium or intermediate between the input output device and the system bus. So in such in microprocessors having the DMA controller, the CPU and the DMA controller they both share the they both have this shared system bus having data address and control lines. With this basic understanding of what a DMA is and what a DMA controller is, let us move on to the working of 8257 DMA controller. So here we have the block diagram of the DMA controller, and as you can see here, the DMA controller has four basic units. It has a 8-bit internal data buffer which transfers the 8-bit data, and also a read and write unit, a control unit, and a priority resolver. And what is priority resolver? Basically, it decides the priority to which the data should be given among the four channels. As I have said earlier, the DMA 8257 has four channels, and each channel has a pair of two 16-bit registers, uh, which are address register and a terminal count register. And also there are two common registers for all the channels, and they are namely set register and status register. So hence there are four and each has two, so 4 into 2, and all four has common two registers, so there are total 10 registers. And basically the common register, mode set register and status register, they are used for deciding priority and etc. So let us see the operations performed by DMA. So whenever any device connected to the microprocessor wants to access the memory, it first of all sends the direct DMA request or direct memory access request to a DMA controller. As I have said earlier, that the DMA controller acts as intermediate between the input output device and the memory. So the DMA controller receives a DRQ request, and once it receives the request, it sends whole request to the CPU and waits for the CPU, and CPU replies back to the DMA controller via by HLDA signal. So when the DMA controller receives the HLDA signal, it means that the CPU has left control over all of its buses, that is including data bus, address bus and control bus, and the entire control of the bus is with the DMA. and and now the DMA controller manages the data man and now the DMA controller has to manage the operations over buses between the CPU, memory and the input output devices. And as I have said, the DMA has four channels, so it means that it can accept four peripheral devices at a time, and the CPU selects one of these 10 registers using the address lines from A0 to A3. The following table shows how we can select the various registers by using A0 to A3 bits. So, Morse register is used for programming 8257 as per the requirements of our system, and also the other functions of Morse register are to enable the various DMA channels individually, and also to set the different modes. So, what are these modes? These modes basically, using DMA we can transfer data in various modes. For example, we can transfer data in using block transfer or cycle stealing transfer. So what are these various modes? We will look into it later. And also the picture here shows the shows how can we enable different channels, and how can we select different functionings as per our requirement. For example, you can see here that by enabling the D4 bit we can enable rotating priority. And what is this rotating priority? Rotating priority, it means that first, suppose the order of the channels is A1, A2, A3 and A4. First A1, the bits are transferred to A1, and then next they are transferred to A2, and then next A3 and next A4. So it rotates again. So this is called rotating priority. So hence, by using Morse register we can set according to our requirements, and also enable the channels which we want to send data. And by using status register, uh, in the status register, the lower order of 4 bits, they are used for terminal count, and basically these are used to know whether the channels have reached the terminal count condition. If they reach the terminal count condition, then the corresponding bits are set, and these bits are set until the CPU reads or the 8257 is reset. If the update flag of the status register is set, for example, let's say now presently the contents are being transferred to channel 3, then if the update flag is set, then the contents of channel 3 will be reloaded to corresponding registers of channel 2, and when the channel 2 reaches a terminal condition, then the next block of data will be transferred to the next channel. And this is done with the auto load feature of the 8257, and it is cleared by the completion of the first DMA cycle of the new block. Interfacing 8085 with our DMA 8257 controller. Once, as you can see in this picture, that the CPU and the DMA controller, they communicate with each other by HLD and HLDA signals, and the DMA controller and peripherals, they communicate with each other using DRQ and DAC signal. When the DMA controller receives the DRQ signal from a peripheral device, then DMA controller, it replies back to the peripheral device using DAC signal, and it takes control over the bus. And now the DMA controller becomes the sole master of the bus, because the CPU will go to the hold status, and the entire control of the data bus is with the DMA controller. And basically the DMA controller acts as an interfacing circuit, means basically it will act like a switching arrangement for the address, data and control buses of the memory and the peripheral subsystems. Even the DMA direct memory access is used even in present-day microprocessors, because the DMA allows a peripheral device like keyboard, mouse, etc. to read or write directly from memory without going through the CPU. So the DMA allows faster processing and faster data transfer, and also because the CPU is not directly involved in this data transfer, the CPU, you can utilize that time for various other operations of its controlling unit. And also, but it has some disadvantages, like we'll get some issues during block transfer, because block transfer through DMA is little bit slow and it's time consuming, and also the DMA transfer, because it requires extra controller, DMA controller, to carry out the operation, so the cost of the system also increases. But I think the cost, comparing to the cost, it has the advantages it gives is highly beneficial. So thank you so much for hearing patiently. Let's meet after holidays. Thank you.